Hi everyone, happy Friday. So, I got so many comments yesterday talking about intermittent fasting and fasting in general. If you didn't see the post, I got this book and I started reading. It's called The Complete Guide to Fasting and Heal Your Body Through Intermittent, Alternate Day, and Extended Fasting. So I kind of wanted to get on because obviously I read half the book and I'm an expert now. No, I wanted to get on and answer some questions and talk about it, especially in conjunction with my personal food philosophy, which you guys have seen me saying a lot recently, which is nutrition, your personalized, individualized nutrition. So like how they fit together. Do they compete? Is it different? Can you do both? So I thought it was just really an interesting topic. And as soon as I started reading the book, I've read a ton of it already. So I'm probably going to be done with it in maybe another day, to be honest with you. So I'm learning a lot from it, which is always fun. I always like books and podcasts that really teach me new things, as opposed to just reiterating a lot of the same effective but same sort of surface level stuff. So I really like kind of digging in and getting more education. Speaking of education, I'm trying to decide right now if I want to become, hi Esperanza, thanks for watching. I'm trying to decide if my next step in education is nutritional therapy practitioner or plant-based chef. I don't know. Comment below. What do you think I should be, an NTP or plant-based chef? I think ultimately over the next couple years I'll end up as both, but every year I try to choose some sort of ongoing education because I love to learn. So let's talk about fasting, intermittent fasting, and nutrition. And then I'm going to answer some of the questions that came up on my post yesterday because I thought they were really good. So first of all, what's the difference? Intermittent fasting and fasting are very different from each other. So fasting, hi Becky, is where you have like no food for several days. And the thing with any sort of fasting, intermittent or fasting or any kind of fasted, extending fasted, is that there is really no one right way, which is one of the reasons I kind of like this, because if you have seen any of my videos or you watch any of my online classes or you just know me at all and hear me talk, I talk a lot about there is no one right solution for everybody. You have to tweak different things, and we'll talk about your nutrition in a minute, but this just totally fits in with that because there is no one exact right way to fast for every single human. There's different reasons that you would maybe use intermittent fasting versus an extended fast, whether it's short or long. So let's talk about the difference really quickly. A fast or an extended fast is longer than 24 hours, okay? So that's where you're not going to have any food for an extended period of time. So comment below, first of all, I'd like to know if you have ever fasted, and if so, how long have you fasted? I personally have never done this. I know my parents have, and being raised in a Christian home, our faith talks about it a lot. A lot of the people in the Bible, when they were hit with a difficult problem, would pray and fast at the same time. So there is a spiritual component to it as well when you're talking about the extended fast, which actually he goes into in this book, and I thought it was really, really interesting the way he talked about it. But, okay, so that's extended fasting. Intermittent fasting is completely different. Intermittent fasting is basically where you just say, I'm going to stop eating after a certain point in the day, and then I'm going to start eating at a certain point in the day. So you can think of it one of two ways. You can think of it as either your fasting window, so let's say you want to fast for 12, 14, 16 hours, whatever it is, or your eating window, and so you can eat within a 5-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, whatever window it is that ends up working for you. So regardless of what kind of fast you choose, now there may be some that are more beneficial for certain things, like for example, if you were like really obese and had a lot of insulin resistance and really needed like to get some medical markers down, probably an extended fast, more than a day and without eating would probably be more beneficial. But if you're looking for general health benefits, and maybe over long term, maybe some weight loss, regulation of your blood sugar, things like that, then intermittent, or what he calls alternate day fasting, those would be other options as well. Or you can sort of incorporate both. So alternate day would be like you eat one day, you don't eat the next day, so you kind of go on and off. So some people do one of these, some people do maybe all three of them, some people maybe experiment with what works best for their body, or they'll do like intermittent fasting, and then maybe at the end of the month they'll tack on a 3-day fast or something like that. I personally know someone who once a month does, I think, a 36-hour fast or something like that, but it's a bone broth fast, so he can have like black coffee hydraulically and bone broth and things like that. So there's that way to do it as well. So even if you are doing an extended fast, and actually particularly if you're doing an extended fast, so like more than 24 hours, there are other options where you're like, okay, I'm not going to eat, but I can have water, coffee, tea, or bone broth. And so particularly if it's like a longer fast for you, that's a bone broth in particular is a really great way to kind of like kick it up to make sure you're getting your salt and your minerals, and it can actually, because it has protein and collagen and things like that, if you're struggling, having something like that can actually kind of help you stay on your fast, because, you know, it gets difficult. But one of the things that he was talking about was almost everybody that does it, like an extended fast with no food, says the first 2 days are the hardest, and then your hunger goes away. So those first 24 hours would be so difficult, and I know they would be for me. So what I was thinking, so the other part that I wanted to talk to you about was nutrition, right? So nutrition absolutely fits into this, because here's the thing. If you're eating like a standard American diet and you're on a blood sugar roller coaster, or you have blood sugar issues, hi Kim, or you're eating foods that are highly processed, so they cause a lot of cravings, they stimulate your appetite, that sort of thing. If you immediately go to something where you're restricting like when you're eating, or you're taking several days off of eating, and your body's used to burning that sugar as energy, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard. You're going to really have a lot of probably mood swings and cravings, and you're going to go through like terrible withdrawal. It's going to be very difficult. It's not saying that it's impossible, it's just making it so much harder. So if you've never done if you haven't figured out what diet works for your body to make you feel stabilized, to control your cravings, to stabilize your blood sugar, to manage your weight easily, I would not necessarily recommend doing something like this right away, particularly the extended fasting. You may be able to incorporate a little bit of intermittent fasting, but if you're going from something that you're pretty dependent on food to trying to do this cold turkey, it's going to make it way harder. So nutrition, what I teach, personalized, individualized nutrition, knowing that and getting your body to a place where it's stable and easy to maintain a healthy weight, you have plenty of energy during the day, you sleep like a rock at night, your blood sugar, in the morning your fasting blood glucose is good, all of these numbers are good for you, then there would be nothing wrong with trying to incorporate some intermittent fasting and things like that. And maybe I'll do another video on some of the benefits. I need to finish reading the book. I mean, there's so many. But I wanted to kind of talk about, there are so many things in terms of that would conflict with my food philosophy, right? So if you started to see me measuring and portioning and weighing all my foods, that goes against like everything I teach my clients. I teach my clients how to find out what foods work for their body so that they manage their weight easily, so that they have plenty of energy throughout the day, so that their digestive issues go away, and so that they don't have to count their calories anymore because their hunger and full signals are accurate. So if you saw me, for example, doing like weighing all my food and like doing all this kind of stuff, you'd be like, wait a second, Kylene, why are you going against your nutrition philosophy? I thought that's what worked for you, and it does. So, but this doesn't contradict. This could be like an additional tool, and it's been used for thousands of years, and it can just help your gut health so much. So if you have a lot of digestive issues, if you have blood sugar issues, if you have brain fog, things like that, this is just like a really great idea. It's something maybe to look into. I think there are maybe some, and I haven't finished it quite yet, but I think the drawback to this would be, and maybe it's in here and I haven't seen it yet, but the drawback, he talks about like the different kinds of fasting, but he doesn't 100% seem to go into the best way to intermittent fast, the best way to do an extended fast. Like, yes, you can have bone broth, but it doesn't count if it's over this many calories. You're not going to get the right results, that sort of thing. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more because I'm sure there's a lot of research on all of that. But I wanted to bring it up because I think it's a really valid concept. So someone had asked me, they were like, you know, hey, I'm just really curious what you think about fasting. She's seen some of my online classes and things like that. And I was like, well, I haven't finished reading the book, but I have several opinions, of course. So one of them is like, look, nothing in the world, including fasting, which can be incredibly beneficial, nothing in the world is going to take the place of discovering your nutrition and eating healthy foods on a regular basis. So if you're eating garbage 90% of the time and then you fast 10% of the time because you hear that it has great health benefits, it does, and you may see some really good results, but like I said earlier, eating poorly before you fast is only going to make it harder, and you're not in that long-term mentality anyways if you're eating crappy food the rest of the time. So 2, it's totally worth looking into for yourself, whether you want to try intermittent, alternate day, extended, whatever. Definitely worth it because there's a lot of science behind it. It has been around for thousands of years. There's different ways to do it, so a lot of different options in terms of, I don't think I could do it, but I want to try to do it for a couple days, but you can have bone broth. So I would just look into it more, and maybe I'll do another video. Drop a comment below if you're interested in any of these particular tidbits in it, and I can kind of go into detail a little bit more. And then number 3, my third thought is, if you're simply going to do it, hi Ashley, if you're simply going to do it as like a fast weight loss gimmick or like a magic pill for some condition, or like a fad, I guess there's some sort of faster way to fat loss or something, I guess is like a fad going around right now. So if you're doing it as some sort of fad, like anything, fads go away, and why would you do that if you're not going to change your mindset and you're not looking for a lifetime change? Then why even bother? So that's kind of my thought with that. It's definitely worth looking into, but you can't just ignore what you're eating the rest of the day, and you can't just go into it like, oh, it's going to solve all my problems, but I'm going to do this like 2 days a week, and yeah, I'll see some benefits from it, but you know, I'm just doing it for weight loss, or, you know, whatever. So I think you really have to have the right mentality, as with anything, to see the best success for sure. I think there was another question that came up that I thought was really good. Let me see if I can find it. What was it? Maybe it wasn't. I can't find it. So anyways, those are some of my thoughts, but I would really encourage you first to discover your nutrition, because that's the most important, and I talk a lot about how to do that in my online classes. So if you missed those and you want them, just comment below and I'm happy to send you a replay. But really quickly, I'm gonna touch on 2 more things before I get off. So I am offering my 6-week online program. It launches February 11th, you guys. I have several people signed up. I only have a few spots left. So if you're interested in learning your nutrition, I walk you through it during the 6 weeks. I give you recommended meal plans. There are suggestions. This is something that is really created to make this process as easy as possible for you. So really the basics is, in order to figure out what foods work for your body, you have to take them out first. And you have to let your body get back to like this basic reset mode, and then when you reintroduce foods, it can tell you how it feels about them. So for example, I went to lunch the other day, and I've been gluten-free for like 5 years now, and I totally got gluten at lunch the other day. I was brain foggy, I was exhausted for like 2 hours, I had to sleep. I was recording a podcast later, and what I was saying was like echoing in my ears, and it was super hard to focus. So I knew what had happened was that I got cross-contamination at lunch and I felt awful. I also had a lot of tools at home that I could take, and so within a few hours I started to feel a little bit more normal, but man, it knocked me out. I felt so miserable. Hi, Amy. So really, you only know like that's how you feel if you remove foods and then bring them back in. So that's what I teach you how to do, and I teach you systematically. Like, if you're just somebody that wants to feel a little better, choose these foods. If you're somebody that has chronic health conditions, choose these foods. If you're somebody that has an autoimmune disease, choose this level. And then the meals that I provide you are the level 3. So whoever, no matter what level you are, if it's really, you're the hardest level of autoimmune, then you have recipes provided to you. So I'm offering that program. It's 6 weeks long. You get 12 educational modules. So you get a video from me every Monday and every Wednesday. You have permanent access to a Facebook group, which is really exciting because not only can you pop in for community and to ask questions as you go through the reintroduction process and to get support and that sort of thing, but every time I run this program, which will be run at least 3 more times this year, every time I run this program, I'm going to have 2 educational modules. Those educational bonus modules are going to be interviews with other experts. Those other experts are going to go live in that Facebook group. So even if you just stay in that Facebook group for that, you're going to get ongoing education and tools throughout the year. So that's pretty exciting too. So like I said, I only have a few spots left. So if you're thinking about doing something like this and you want to discover your nutrition first and sort of get your weight more balanced and get your digestion on track and that sort of thing first, that's where I would start for sure. So you can either check that out at my website, thetinyfitdiva.com/stopdieting, or you can comment below and I'm happy to hop on the phone and answer all your questions. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share was a health update. So many of you know, if you've been following me on social media, I have a lump in my neck, you can see right there. And so I had it checked out, and my doctor ordered an ultrasound that was inconclusive, ordered a CT scan, sent me to a surgeon, and I had the surgeon consult the other day, and he said it's actually in a really tricky spot. So there's some muscles here, there's a lot of nerves in there that control my arm, and it's right under one of my main jugular veins. So he sent me to a specialist. So now I have an appointment with a neck specialist on Wednesday, and from there I will talk to him about how he feels about either removing it before or after a biopsy, what his opinion on that is, how he feels about it, what he wants me to do, and then I'll go from there. So I most likely have a visit and a biopsy coming up, and then potentially a surgery down the road, depending on what it is. Now what's crazy about it is it's kind of conflicting because it's like, well, if it's not going to kill me, do I leave it there? But it's big enough that it bothers me, so there's that aspect to it too. So I need to sort of get more information, and we'll continue moving on from there. But in the meantime, you know, I practice what I preach. I'm juicing, I'm watching my sugar intake, I'm moving a lot because, you know, it can affect your lymph system and that sort of thing. So I'm doing everything I know how to do, and I'm going to work in conjunction with some really excellent medical staff to get it resolved. I'm pretty excited about getting some more information next week, and so I just wanted to keep those of you who have been following my story updated. So thank you for watching. If you have questions on nutrition, on the 6-week program, by the way, I didn't even throw out the title. It's called Stop Dieting and Live Your Life, Discover Your Nutrition. And the reason I titled it that way is because you can stop dieting when you figure out what foods work for your body, because then your cravings go away and your hunger is balanced and your weight is easily maintained and your hormones start balancing out and just everything falls in place when you go through this process. And so I call it Stop Dieting and Live Your Life, because when you figure it out, that's what allows you to stop dieting ultimately. We talk a lot about mindset. We talk a lot about making it a lifestyle. So if you are someone that wants to stop dieting, or if you're all the way up to autoimmune and you haven't tried yet, you haven't tried managing your symptoms with nutrition yet, this is the program for you, and I'm pretty excited about it. So if you want some testimonials, if you want more information, if you want to ask me questions, just reach out. I'm happy to talk about it. February 11th is the start date, and you'll definitely want to make sure you sign up soon, because I'm going to do a welcome call and I'm going to send you some goodies ahead of time. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, hope you just drop them below. Hope you have a great Friday, and I will talk to you soon.